Tom, what did you think about Richarlison today?
Well, I think he's garbage. I think he's a potato man. But unfortunately, he did figure out how to score. The funny thing is he's done this many times before, so this is not new. We've seen Richarlison score amazing goals at Everton and in other seasons with Tottenham. It's really funny, though, because it'll come in spurts. He'll like score 2 goals.
The consistency is not there.
Yeah. He'll score some worldy, amazing goal, bicycle or whatever.
A howitzer.
Like he did today, a
Scissors
kick. Yeah.
Beautiful goal, by the way.
And then he just disappears for
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. And then, maybe he'll score in like a nothing game.
Yeah, there's probably some Spuds fan out there who's like, he was injured! He was injured! It's like, okay, dude, calm down. Great players come back from injury and continue to dominate.
Yeah.
No, he has the
it.
potential to be a great player. Let's be
Sure.
clear. He's got strength, speed, technique, a great eye for goal.
Yeah.
His issues are, it's a headspace thing. He'll get frustrated, things start going well. He doesn't know how to navigate it. Maybe that's just youthful, whatever, whatever. Doesn't matter. Good for Spuds, I guess. Great result for them. Let's quick talk about Sunderland. Sunderland. Taking it to West Ham. How about that? Coming in hot with your boy, Granit Xhaka.
Granit Xhaka.
I just combined both of them.
Xhaka didn't do anything in the game, I don't think. No goals or assists. But he brings a presence to the team and to the locker room. Coming from Leverkusen, undefeated.
He started the game, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, he started, and I think he finished it, too.
But in his position, he doesn't have to, in that position, you're not required to do goals and assists.
Right.
He just brings a solidity and consistency to the midfield that is, key. And what he did at Bayern Leverkusen was nothing short of incredible. It was phenomenal. Undefeated season, just beat Bayern Munich for the title, beat everybody else for the title. I mean, it was incredible. Bayern had won the title, I think, 11 years in a row, something like that, and they dethroned them. Bayern also have a budget they don't have a budget. They just spend as much money as they want. And they buy up all the best players in the league typically. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, and that was the season that they brought in Harry Kane, who at the time was kind of the best striker in the world.
Yeah. I would argue he still is. I mean, or it's between him and Erling Haaland. But, they're both incredible.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. It's great to see Sunderland come out with a bang. They're a classic Premier League team. They've always, since in my time, they've always dipped in and out, you know?
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. Then we have Manchester City and Liverpool both played as well. Liverpool played on Friday. Man City played on Saturday. Let's talk Liverpool. Let's talk about
Liverpool,
how they performed.
Yeah, I was not super impressed. I didn't watch the game live, but they went up by 2. I think Ekitike scored. That's their new striker.
Yeah.
So that was a good sign for them.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty impressive goal.
Yeah.
Kind of a solo goal. But then they went down to they got Bournemouth caught up to them, leveled up 2-2.
Yeah.
And then they won it at the very end, 88th minute. Which
That's when they got their last 2 goals?
They got their last 2 goals after the 88th minute.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it was towards the end of the game.
So Salah is really funny because he got a pretty good player rating. Mm-hmm. But until he got the goal, his player rating was terrible.
Yeah.
He was just nothing. And then in the plus added time after they won the game, he gets a goal and says, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good game.
Well, in his defense, I think we're going to see, if he's smart and if Slot is going to play him correctly, and get the best out of him in his twilight years, so to speak, then, and we saw coaches do this with Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid and Juventus, you just let him walk around until the ball is to him. You let him do a little bit of movement here or there. You don't want him to blow his wad early. You don't want him tracking back too much. You don't want him making too many crazy runs. He knows how to move. He knows where to be, and he knows how to take on and beat a defender.
Right.
And you just let him kind of float around. And sometimes that means that the player looks ineffective. So I don't think that. I mean, they will do that, but I don't think that's a dig on Salah. This is the new version of Salah we're going to see. But as long as the scoring stats stay up, that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he's as good as Ronaldo. Everybody calm down, by the way. I'm just saying that with a player like that, when they're getting into their 30s, you have to think seriously about preserving their body more.
Preservation.
Yeah, preservation's key. And especially with him, he played under Klopp. Klopp burns out everybody. Burns them out. So many players leave a Klopp team and they're all used up.
Yep.
Outside of like Lewandowski. It seems like every other guy that leaves a Klopp team is just like
toasted.
Yeah, toasted. Yeah. There's tons of injuries, and they just can't play at the same level. So Salah needs to be just kind of left to do his thing. Let the other guys, let Ekitike and Diaz and Wirtz do a lot of the other work that needs to be done.
Right.
And then, so, I mean, they won the game 4-2.
They did.
But they didn't win the game until like the 90th minute, basically.
Right.
So other people have said this. We saw this in the Community Shield. I think their issue is going to be defense. And that will come down to Virgil van Dijk. Can Virgil van Dijk fully adjust his game now that he also, like Salah, is aging and needs to figure out how to alter his game so that he's not, pulling a hammy basically and out for 3 months. Mm-hmm. And also understanding that don't just be, and I'm not blaming the 2 goals on Virgil van Dijk. I'm just saying that he is the heart and the rock of the defense, and you can see he has lost a step. It does not mean that he isn't the best the best center back in the league. I'm not saying that. He still very well may be this season. I just think if they're going to have a weakness, it will be defense, and it will be because of Virgil van Dijk. And it will be because he's trying to play the way he used to play, and it's like, dude, you're not there anymore. Right. So other center backs adjust really well to it, although the aging thing, I mentioned John Terry last episode. Of course, John Terry never was fast, ever, a day in his life. So he always had to think like a geezer. It's just in timing his runs and all that stuff, which helped. And that's why he had some of his best season, probably arguably one of his best seasons later in his career under Mourinho's second spell. So I don't know. We'll see. My hope is that that they have a very leaky defense. That continues.
Oh yeah.
Because I hate Liverpool with everything inside of me. So.
Yeah, and I think the bigger game to kind of see how good they are is coming up in, I think, 2 weeks. Arsenal play Liverpool at Anfield away. So that's a huge game for both teams.
Yeah.
Arsenal haven't won at Anfield in years. I think we tied there last season. So it's a pretty tough game for Arsenal. But that'll really show who, how good we are and how good they are. So we'll see.
Yeah. So Liverpool win. The win is not without its faults, though. And so crossing our fingers that they continue to concede a lot of goals.
Oh.
What's that?
So along with this, Alexander Isak didn't play for Newcastle.
Isak. Yeah, he did not.
He did not play for Newcastle today. Newcastle tied Aston Villa. Aston Villa had a red card. Newcastle should have beaten Aston Villa. They weren't able to do it. They didn't have their best player on the field, Alexander Isak. How do you
Isak.
pronounce that? And will he go to Liverpool? That'll be a big game changer. I still think he might not do it. He might not be able to pull off that move. I think Liverpool might not be able to pull off that move. They've spent so much.
They've spent a lot, but they did win the league.
Yeah.
They're also just a commercially viable team. They sell a ton of jerseys. They're one of the biggest brands in the world. They have a lot of money. But the ownership has always ran a tight ship in their. But I will say, this summer they've spent a lot of money. But that's smart to do. You just came off a win. Now is the time to do it.
Right.
Bolster the squad.
They've also sold a lot of players for a good amount as well.
Oh yeah.
They've had a lot of players. So their net spend is pretty low, actually.
Yeah. That's a good point. Point. Alexander-Arnold at Real Madrid. And good for him.
Who's that? Nunez? I think he went to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to get us a little more light in here, actually.
That's a good idea. Why don't you check the camera while you're at it? Just make sure it's not.
Check the what?
Up. Just check the camera. Make sure we're all set.
Yeah, we're good.
So
looking good.
All right. So Liverpool could get Alexander Isak. That would be a huge game changer. Newcastle tied Aston Villa 0-0 with an extra man on the field, which is kind of embarrassing for both teams, mainly for Newcastle.
Aston Villa can hold their head high.
They're both defensive teams. They really focus on being able to shut teams. They play super defensive against Arsenal, and so that's kind of a funny result for them.
Yeah, that is funny. I think Newcastle, if they let Isak go, you screwed my brain up.
Isak.
I keep saying Isaac. Anyways, if they let Isaac go and pick up Nico Jackson will not replace goal for goal Isaac, but he will be able to keep them somewhat competitive. I think, I'm not sure. Jackson at Chelsea, and bear in mind, people are pretty tough on Jackson. I'm very tough on Jackson, and I'm a huge Chelsea fan. But Jackson did come out of La Liga as basically a winger who could kind of switch hit. He could do striker. He was a winger. It's like he's not, but he's big. He's big. He's fast. He's strong. He could suddenly turn into something. Isak before he came to Newcastle was a nobody, and Eddie Howe turned him into this monster. Right. Now, I mean, he always had it in him, I think, and I think for Isak, just for him as a player, his best option is to go to Liverpool to preserve his body and win titles. Because it's unlikely, it's not impossible, it's unlikely that Newcastle are going to do the necessary investments in order to consistently compete at the top level and potentially win a title. That's my thoughts. I know they have a great ownership, and Eddie Howe is a great manager. And so I know that they're here to stay for a long time in the league and towards the top. But you have to be willing to do that extra bit to get titles.
Yeah.
So I think that Isak is going to Liverpool. I think that's happening. And I think that will be a huge issue for everybody else in the league. So we'll see. I think we've talked about that.
Yeah, Newcastle did already buy a striker or a forward, Anthony Elanga, who's also Swedish.
Well, Elanga came from Man U. He's a winger. He's not like a striker. He was at Man U. Then he went, I can't remember, to another team, a lower in the, like a bottom half team, I think.
Okay.
Sorry, like Watford or something. It doesn't matter. Regardless, then now he's at Newcastle. He is good. I like him. I think he's good. He's got a lot of pace, some skill, and he could turn into something really good. But he's not going to replace Isak. They need to get a decent to very good striker. And they kind of struck gold with Isak. Yeah, I think they should cash in on Isak. Yeah. And they should have cashed in earlier in the season.
Yeah.
They should have opened up and been like, hey, we're taking bids. because
Right.
a bunch of big clubs probably would have bid for him, and then seen where he wanted to go, and obviously it's Liverpool were always the front runner to get him, and then just juiced it until they got a ton of money and then let him go, and then they would have had a few weeks or even a full month to spend that money on another
A replacement.
a replacement, or like you can always replace one player with a few players.
Yeah.
So you could bring in
Yep.
a really like a Matoma, like a really dynamic winger who has good goals and assists, and then a striker who's decent, somebody who's getting like Cunha or Mbuena, the guys that went to Man U. Like those guys actually for a few seasons now. Cunha is actually newer to the league, but Mbuena.
He's been very good.
He's been very good, but
Yep.
those guys probably will do very well at Newcastle. They are the type of player. They don't need a lot of opportunity.
Right.
They don't need to see a lot of the ball in order to create something, and those are always a good sign. So,
Of course, yeah. They're at Man U now, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they're at Man U.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Man U's done actually really well with their front line.
They have done well this summer.
I do not. I'm not a Sesko guy. I don't think he. I think I see the potential, but the stats aren't quite there. That does not mean he's not bad. But I see the potential. I liked Hoyland, but he has not panned out at all. But he could. He's still young enough.
By the way, Sesko and Richarlison, they remind me of each other. They also remind me of Robin van Persie. So they have these goals that they score, just amazing goals, but very few, like not a lot of goals. And not against like super impressive teams either, but they're crazy goals. They will score the most ridiculous goals.
Yeah.
And that's how Robin van Persie was. He was injury prone. He couldn't make it into the first team, but he would score the craziest, volleys and whatnot. And then finally, he had a healthy season and with a consistent team, and he just went off at Arsenal. Robin van Persie.
Yeah.
And then, of course, went to United.
Van Persie, though, lacked the athleticism of those guys. He was never fast a day in his life.
Yeah, not the same type of player necessarily, but same capabilities.
Yeah.
It kind of shows you a glimpse of, okay, this guy could be really good in the future.
This is my thing with Sesko. When I see Sesko, I see his size, I see his pace, I see that he came from the Bundesliga, and I think Kai Havertz. And I'm like, could be good. You may see glimpses. He may either take a while to adjust to the league, or he might just be bang on average in the league. And as exemplified by our guy Kai Havertz. That is what I see as a potential outcome for Sesko.
Okay.
It's rare to just bring in a striker and they just hit the ground running.
I think
everybody just sees Erling Haaland is like, we need to repeat that. Let's get a 6'4" guy who's really fast as lightning, blah, 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 and they just want to everybody.
Right.
The crazy thing in the soccer world is that it's very much so like a who's hot, who's not type of thing.
Right.
And so sometimes it's not so much the statistical achievement as it is the fact that this player has similar traits to a star, and you're seeing that a lot. And so you'll see that with coaches. Like somebody hires a young coach, and everybody else is like, "Well, we need to hire. We got to hire a young coach from. They hired a young coach from Holland. We got to hire a young coach from Holland. They hired a young Spanish coach. And then they'll all do it, and just because one guy had a good season or whatever, and it's like, okay, people, slow down, get what you need, not what everybody else is doing.
Right. There's a lot of copycat going.
There's a lot of copycat going.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Ilanga, he went and played for Nottingham Forest.
Jeez, I'm so off. But
a couple seasons. Well, you were right. He was at Man U. He went to another team.
Yeah, I knew he went to another team, but
yeah.
Anyways,
but he's got a lot of Premier League experience.
He does.
He should be a good player.
He's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. And he's gonna be good for them too. He did well at Nottingham.
Yeah,
and I thought at Man U, oh, this guy's showing some potential. This is good, but I think he wanted more playing time. So whatever.
Yeah. And then Eddie Howe today in an interview said he just wants the Isaac situation to be figured out, to be solved, which kind of sounds like, I mean, he's already on contract at Newcastle, so there's nothing to figure out there. So that kind of sounds like he's like, hey, if you want to leave, get out the door, or stay, but get out the door so I can bring in more players. So,
yeah, I say, and the funny thing is, the tricky, odd thing is because there's agents involved, right?
Right.
Itzhak's got agents. One of the things is that what sometimes happens is that we think they're trying to get more money from Liverpool, or you think Newcastle's trying to get more money from Liverpool, but it can be the agent trying to be like, he needs 450 quid a month, or we're not signing. And so, and then they're going from Liverpool to Newcastle. You gotta give him better. You gotta give him this extension. And it's like this horrible thing where there's these lawyer agent people involved that are just kind of awful.
It does seem like he's getting really bad advice on his decisions too. It seems like because they waited until after Arsenal bought a striker, and after Liverpool bought strikers, and then he comes out and says, "I want to move." Those were the teams that wanted you.
Yeah, I think this whole waiting until the last, for the sake of negotiation, waiting until the last minute is a bad idea in sport. I get that it's a business and money needs to get made, and Itzhak needs to take care of himself and his family and future generations, whatever. And I'm all for people making as much money as they can, especially when they're very talented, like he is. But I think that, again, you could have resolved the situation and still gotten paid an extraordinary amount of money. Everybody could get paid. Like Liverpool, if they win, Itzhak will win titles with him. Maybe not this season. Maybe Man City is going to barnstorm it. We know that Erling Haaland's the best goal scorer in the league, far and away, and they've strengthened their squad. Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, I just burped into the thing. Oh, well. Next time I'm really going to let it rip. Anyways, speaking of which, Man City just flamed Wolverhampton.
Yeah, that, aside from the Sunderland result, I think Man City is the big game that happened, where they crushed Wolves. I don't think Wolves are super impressive this season, but
they've
Haaland
lost
with 2 goals, their new players, Reinders and Shirky with goals.
Yeah.
City they're back. Last season was a fluke. City I think they're back. They might not win it. They might not, be second or first, but they're definitely going to be giving everybody something to think about.
Yeah. Yep, they look good. They started Diaz and Stones as center back. I think City's big thing is defense. I don't think there's been a moment ever where they've had under Pep where they've really had a bad offense. They've always been very good moving forward. It's defense. Mm-hmm. Still no Rodri. That's a big issue. Rodri's incredible. So that stinks. And that's the thing. Wolves is not a strong team this season. So we'll see how things go for them. And they lost some key players, so, whatever. But, and City would be expected to kick their butt and just dominate 4-0. That's not a shocker, necessarily.
Right. Right.
That being said,
they're having a good start.
Seeing Erling Haaland get 2, it's like, oh, great, here we go again.
Yeah. Yeah, this could be another unstoppable Haaland season.
Yeah.
And it's a good start to the season. That's the thing. Last season, they had a very bad start. It was clear that something was off. And then Rodri was injured. De Bruyne was, very unreliable. And then
he was injured. He had a lot of injury issues. He
did. He's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
And then in January, they spent really big. And then in summer, they spent really big. They've brought in a lot of new players, and it's kind of like, okay, are they going to gel? Are they going to make this work? And Yeah, they did.
They did today.
They made it work today. So
Yeah, we'll see.
I do agree, though, their defense is rough.
Yeah.
And so they do have an Achilles heel there.
Yeah, I have always said, and I'll say it again, City, the reason why they'll dominate so much is Pep has a system, and we saw this at Barcelona. And as a Chelsea fan, we had a lot of battles with Pep's Barcelona over the years. One in which there was a handball that Vibribo, stupid Norwegian ref, didn't see, allegedly, even though he's looking right at it. Doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. Sorry. The thing is that Pep's teams they're not actually great at defense.
Yeah.
And I have said this over and over and over again. Because of how they go about the game and the pressuring and everything, there's not the requirement to do a lot of last-ditch defending and hard charging defense is just not there. And so oftentimes they push teams back into their half, and there's a lot of tight. They know how to swarm and put tight pressure. And he's got this whole scheme that he does, and where the opposing team gets the ball back, and then they get kind of swarmed and pressured, and then they lose the ball. So Pep has this great tactical scheme that basically enables his team to maintain the ball and avoid doing defense.
Right.
And they typically only get exposed when either there's been upheaval and he's still kind of building and things aren't settled, and so he can't fully implement his style, or if they play a really good team that doesn't really care if they have a lot of the ball, but has the players where when they get the ball, they can just make something happen out of thin air. And that's when Pep's teams have struggled.
Right.
And we saw that when Pep first came to the Premier League with Antonio Conte, when we won the league then back in 2017. Antonio Conte's squad was set up. It's like we had a lot of possession throughout the season against a lot of different teams, but against Pep's teams, we didn't really care. We had the players to where it didn't matter. These players didn't need a lot of the ball in order to score goals. Right. And so that's what we did.
Right.
And then we won the league that season against Pep's Man City. Now, it was his first season in the Premier League, but people expected him coming into City with all the money and all these great players that they would do better, and they didn't do that well. Right. Against us. So I think that will be the question is for Man City is can they implement a style without De Bruyne, who, by the way, for as excellent as he is going forward, he offers a lot in a lot of other ways on the team. Like, he can do more than just pass and assist and facilitate attacks. He's great. His movement's great. He knows how to close players down. He can win the ball. He's all around box to box a great center midfielder. Right. So he's not just some attacking center midfielder. Right. He's great. And will go down as a great. And they don't have him anymore. And I'm not convinced these other guys are necessary. They're not a one-for-one. So
no, not at all. Yeah.
Bernardo Silva is great, but definitely not good at defense at all. He can put light pressure on people, and he's got great fitness, but he's not winning balls like some of these others. So I don't know. We'll see. And it sounds like, based off of how the severity of Rodri's injury, that he's not just going to bounce back.
Yeah. Rodri, he wasn't even on the bench, I don't think. Yeah, I think he might have shown up in preseason, and people were worried about Rodri coming back, or they thought he was going to come back. Yeah. But no, I mean he was already getting to the end of his career, and then he tore his ACL without contact, which is not good. Yeah. So I fully do not expect him to be an impact player this season for City. So they've had to replace two of the best players in the world for their position in midfield, which is De Bruyne and Rodri. So that's pretty tough.
That's tough to do.
And they already have a struggling defense. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think their defense is severely overrated is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Long, winding explanation to
Yeah.
say
The defense is good.
defense is overrated. Teams can if teams can figure out how to exploit that, then
Yeah.
everybody's not going to get bulldozed by Man City.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like, and I hate to use this example, but it's just true. David Raya, Arsenal's goalkeeper, he's gotten the Golden Glove award for 2 seasons in a row. And I think, if I'm right, before him, I think our previous goalkeeper got the Golden Glove, who was Ramsdale.
Ramsdale?
I think he got the Golden Glove. Now, here's the thing. Maybe he didn't, but even just David Raya, is he that good of a goalkeeper, or do Arsenal just do such a good job of keeping possession that other teams can't score on us? And we have a really good back line, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the case with kind of the similar thing with Man City's defense. It's not that the defenders are so good that they have good defensive stats.
Yeah.
It's that the other teams don't get a chance to attack them.
Yes.
So they don't have to play defense.
Yeah, they don't play as much defense. There's a
Right.
lot of, like Lewis played right back, right?
Yeah, Rico Lewis.
Rico Lewis is an attacking player, an
Yeah.
attack-minded player. But Pep has done that. He did this at Barcelona. He likes getting everybody involved in the attack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at Bayern, he famously took Philip Lahm and made him like a center midfielder, because Philip Lahm has always been great at attacking from the back, and he was like, why not just attack? As you're great at defense, you know how to attack, you're great at passing, all that stuff. Let's just, and he would kind of switch him into center midfield. So it's clever stuff. It's great when you have that luxury to do that, but there is a lot of opportunity for good teams that are aware of what you're doing to exploit it. It's like get a one-on-one between Saka and Stones, and that's a great situation where Stones is probably not going to be able to lock him down.
Oh, yeah.
A guy who, he's in trouble because he's not used to one-on-ones. He's used to getting the ball, passing it around. Stones is so good at so many different things.
On offense.
On
the ball.
On the ball.
Yeah.
On the ball. And that's why he came there, because he's great on the ball.
Yeah.
But he can get exploited in defense.
Yeah.
And especially another thing that happens is that players can't always, their focus, they can't always just switch that lever from defense to offense.
Right.
And so sometimes players and we're getting so much possession, we're passing the ball, we're pushing guys forward, and then suddenly you lose the ball, and suddenly and you're like, oh man, and like that, having to switch like that. And these are elite players, don't get me wrong, but even I've seen it with Stones, I've seen him just it's like, whoa, dude, this is bad. Like, I've seen him get dominated on dribbles because he's been spending the whole game passing the ball around.
Right.
And suddenly it's like, oh, I actually have to defend. So
he can get taken off guard. I think we're going to see it against when they play the big teams.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal. I think we're going to see it. I don't know about Liverpool as much because they have such a bad defense. That should just be a high-scoring game. And I think actually, I don't think Chelsea have a fantastic defense either, so I think that would be high-scoring. But against Arsenal,
I take issue with that.
Against Arsenal especially, I think you're going to see City are going to control more of the ball than they typically do. In recent years, Arsenal have dominated the ball against City. But Arsenal are going to play more on the counter, a more 50-50 game than usual. We'll see, though. Arsenal do like to possess, so.
Yeah.
But they're going to get hit hard. When Arsenal get the ball and turn on Man City, they're not going to know what to do about it.
It's going to be aggressive.
Yeah. So what do you think about the games tomorrow? Chelsea are playing and Arsenal are playing, and that's all I know about.
Well, I'm super excited. I think Chelsea should handily win. I think we'll probably start João Pedro as striker, and I think that he's going to get a goal or two. I think
a goal or two.
Yeah, I think this is exciting stuff. I think we should play an experienced Premier League defense. So I don't think we should take some of these newer defender like Hato that we got. I don't think we should start him.
Okay. Who?
Or Hato. I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's this young kid we got.
Oh, the defender?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard
He plays center and left back or something.
I'm mad you guys got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted him. So I think he's going to be really good. I think, though, that he should get subbed in the 60th minute or something. Let's play a solid defense because I don't want to, blooding a player that isn't used to the Premier League pace is scary stuff. But, Tom, I think we need to wrap this up. I got to get moving here soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's just quick talk about Eze from Crystal Palace.
Yes.
So
what's happening?
It looks like he's gonna go to. It looks like he's gonna go to Tottenham. Yeah. So I think I mentioned this before. Tottenham have been going after him, and he looks like he wants to leave Crystal Palace. Arsenal have also been maybe showing interest, or I don't know, talking about him.
Yeah, I thought that Arsenal or something was going on.
You thought so, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it looks like he's going to go to Tottenham, which is a pretty big deal for Tottenham. He would be a very pivotal player for Tottenham.
Okay.
And it just so turns out Chelsea are playing Crystal Palace tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they might not have one of their best players in Eze, which is kind of disappointing to me because I want Crystal Palace, and they're a difficult team. I want them to play their best players against Chelsea, but it looks like that's not going to happen. And there's a cool kind of villain story arc here with Eze because the video came out earlier about him. He's doing an interview where he said he tried out for Arsenal when he was a kid. He loved Arsenal when he was a kid, and then he didn't make the team, and he was quite bitter about it. Then he goes to Crystal Palace, and now he's become a great player, and Arsenal kind of showed interest in the transfer window, but a little half-hearted. Arsenal don't seem to be fully interested, and now he's kind of turning sour and looking to go to Tottenham.
Wow.
So that could be that could be a kind of a fun thing.
A little plot twist.
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Well, they're all London teams. I think that he would probably do well for himself to go to Spuds or go to Arsenal or just leave.
Probably better off at Spuds because at Arsenal he's not. He's probably going to be on the bench most of the time. I don't see him fitting in at Arsenal very well.
Yeah, I think he could. I think he could find his way into starting. I think he's got the natural talent. Yeah. Yep. He needs to make
the left wing maybe.
Yeah, he can kind of play. He can play a lot of different positions.
Yeah.
And I think he can play like in the whole center attacking midfielder. I think he can even go back into midfield, play on the wing. I think that he's 27. Crystal Palace already sold off Elise a season or two ago. He went to Bayern Munich.
Oh, right.
I think that Crystal Palace are, probably looking to cash in on him anyways. And I don't know how much longer Crystal Palace are going to be able to hang out in the Premier League. They have consistently sold off every single guy that's gotten really good.
Yeah.
So
they're in trouble. Yeah.
Or nearly every single. So I think, I don't know why that exactly is, if they have financial issues or if they just get poached. I mean, with Bayern, if Bayern comes calling, you're going to go. So I get that.
Right.
There have been other players where I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Regardless, he shouldn't waste his career over there.
Yeah, he should take what opportunity he gets. Mm-hmm. I agree. It makes sense to go to Tottenham. It would be a little disappointing because I thought he would really make a difference at Arsenal. But it looks like Arsenal might be going for someone else. We'll see. And then he will make a huge difference for Tottenham. He'll be a
That'd be huge.
I think they lost Madison too. Madison
James
had
Madison
he
left,
had an
yeah.
ACL.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, he's out.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
He's great,
so-
too. That's a bummer.
Yeah, so they need that attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I think Izzy to Spuds would be a great move for him and a great move for Spuds. I don't love it because I hate Spuds, but I think they would. I think they'd do well to pick him up. Be
Yep.
great for his career. This is a great opportunity. He'll just fall right in.
Yeah, he'll slot
You
right
know,
in there.
he'll slot right in.
No problem.
He can play, like I said, in the hole, on the wings.
He'll play every game of the season
Yeah.
if he wants to. Yeah.
Strong, athletic, has an eye for goal, great creator. Be a great option for them. And hopefully, yeah, he doesn't play tomorrow. That would be fantastic.
It's very likely he won't play tomorrow, which is kind of. I think he will. I think he would, because it's not like the Isaac situation where he's like, I want to leave, and I'm not going to play again. But we'll see. Maybe he won't.
I could, yeah. Yeah, maybe he won't. Maybe it's more amicable.
It's more amicable.
You can tell with the Itzhak situation that there's agents and lawyers involved, and they're
Yeah.
making it toxic.
It's not going well. Yeah.
And, which is fine. There's been a zillion moves. A lot of moves are like that. Where there's this weird back and forth. And,
Yeah.
People are hostile.
I've also heard, people listed a number of famous players who did the same thing. I think Suarez was one of them who said, I want to leave, and then they stayed. And Suarez still scores his 20 goals plus a season. So
Yeah.
Isaac could stay and still kill it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Because that's the thing, is that some of it is the player themselves they don't have any bitterness at the club or anything. It's not. It's kind of out of their hands a little bit.
Yeah,
They bring in agents and lawyers and basically a team of people to represent them in order to ensure that they financially are set for life.
Right.
Because they have a short amount.
Make the best business decisions.
Yeah, make the best business decisions possible.
Right.
And those businessmen, who are all a bunch of animals, also need to make money for themselves, and they just push things to the limit.
Yeah.
And they drag the player along with them. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. There are obviously times where there's like bitterness and resentment that goes on.
Yep.
But there's also a lot of other times where that's the perception, when in actuality the player themselves don't actually care that much.
Right.
They play either place. Happy to stay, happy to go. It's not a big deal. They're a professional. They'll kick butt anywhere they go.
Right.
So, all right, Tom.
This has been another successful Lundeby Soccer podcast.
That's right, Lundaby.